All right, welcome guys to the Richards Team Huddle. Love being with you guys. We're going to talk tonight about growing ourselves, growing our business, growing our impact, and really being super intentional in the month of November. And obviously, you're on this call because that's what you desire, right? And so, if you desire it, I want to make sure that we're equipping you to feel like you can take steps forward and get better in November. The four seasons that your business can go through. Does anybody remember what they are? Like, if you, the highest and best, so as humans, we're highest and best when we are blank, ing. Does
Creating.
anyone remember who said that?
Monica.
Monica, you said creating?
Hmm.
Yes. Creating and playing. Okay, playfulness, playing. Like imagine, some of us are grandmas and we get to play and like it's just like a very regenerating time, or if you're playing with a kitten or you're playing when you're playing, you're in this brain that this side of your brain that's creating and playing. And that is a really high energy for human beings, okay? Then what's the next one that like if we're not doing that, we could be doing this? Does anyone know the next phase that you could be in?
I'm just spitballing here. I don't remember.
Go for it.
Um,
I mean, hey,
planning,
uh,
planning,
okay, it's
thinking
close to
about
that.
creating.
It definitely is close to that. It's managing, right? Like when we're not creating and playing, we're managing something. Um, if we're not creating and playing in our health, or like, I wonder if I could put some muscle on this month. I wonder if I could just drop fat. I wonder if I could hit 10,000 steps every day in the month of November. I wonder if I could get an excellent sleep score every day in November. You're playing, you're creating, you're playing, you're not managing the number on the scale, which is so daunting. So when I give you guys this, it's not all for your business. It's, when you're conversating with your coaches and your clients, you could say, these are the four stages, right? Creating, playing is great. Managing is another one. And then what's the third one? Does anyone know this one? We're getting lower, right? We're losing energy, we're losing steam as we go down. Okay. But this is kind of, I was here. I was in this stage off and on this year. Not proud of it, but I was. Does anyone know what this stage could be? The third one? It's one step below managing.
Surviving.
What is it?
Is it surviving? You're saying that maybe that's the last one. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, you're right there. It's blaming. I just maybe it's my mentors. Maybe it's the food. I don't know if they make the food as good as they used to. Maybe it's the economy. Maybe it's the whatever. Maybe it's my unsupportive spouse. Maybe it's my right. And it's got to be external, right? Because God forbid it be internal and we have to grow again, right? And obviously we cannot always be growing. There's times where you retract and then you grow, right? Like that's normal. But when you're blaming, your highest and best is when you're creating and playing, and then when you're blaming, you're just going down in energy. And then the next one, and I want to give you when you say overwhelm, okay, or I'm overwhelmed, or I'm those are blamey words, and you're not blaming others. You could even be blaming yourself. Okay, it's not always, I'm not suggesting that you're always blaming other people. You might even be doing this, like blaming yourself, okay? The last one is dying. Like, and you'll see this in your business where you're like, yeah, I was creating and playing and adding 5 clients a month, and I had great conversations with people, and I love my check-ins, and we were doing fat burn challenges, and we were doing, whatever. Then I kind of started managing where I was like, oh, I just don't want to miss ED. I just don't want to miss ED. I don't want to move, and you're managing. And then you're blaming because now you're mad that you missed ED, and you're like, well, it's probably because there's this going on. And then it's dying, and then you're almost like, I don't know where to start now. And that's where I think a lot of people can be. And so tonight, I just wanted to say, don't worry. You already know where to start. So if let's just say you're dying or you're blaming, your business is dying and you're blaming. Where would you go if you wanted that to stop? Where would you retreat to? Logically, if it was blaming and dying, and you were like, I don't want to blame and have my business die. I actually like the income. I like the impact. I like being healthy. I like this group of people. I don't want it to go away, right? Then wouldn't you just pack up and go?
Logically,
I
yeah,
would go to the community. The
Adrian,
community.
hi.
I would go with hi. I would go to the community. And that's where, like, whenever I've tried to get a restart going, I want to go back to the people that are doing it. I want to hear what they're saying. I want to be a part of that. So I would go back to the community. I don't know if you mean talking about going back on where, on that level, on those different levels.
Yeah, creating. So I think, Monica, that is a great answer, Adrian, because I feel like we do best when we create in community. And tonight, even Thomas and I, we were just two people, but we were a community. And we were having actual fun creating something for his business that's new and exciting. And it's a breath of fresh air. We were creating. And we just took 30 minutes to create together and we played. And it was not serious. And it was not like, oh, I need to hit ED. And we're not managing. We were just like, what if we had fun with our post again? What if we had fun living out loud again? What if we were being creative again? So, and we did that in community. Doing that in isolation, to your point, Adrian, is no fun. I think in isolation, oh my gosh, our internal dialogue alone is not good. It needs to be interrupted, right? And then Monica, I think you were suggesting that we go back to the top. Is that way the cycle starts over, right? It's like a birth death cycle almost, like a caterpillar. You got to go back to the top. So tonight, I would just say, how about we just start creating and playing in November and being diligent about being in that space of our business, not managing our weight, not managing our business, our numbers. There is a part of what we do that we should look at numbers and go, oh gosh, if I help two more people, my goodness, my bonus would be almost double. Like, yes, we want to have numbers and be intentional. We are running a business. And if I was going to hire someone to be my health coach, I'm just being honest, I would want them to be a professional health coach. I would not want them to be like willy-nilly with my health. Like, I would hope that they were acting, behaving, and training like a health coach, right? So just put yourself in the shoes of the person looking at you. They hope that you look at numbers. They hope that you're here next year. So part of looking at numbers isn't like, ooh, I want to go get some people. It's more, I want to make sure that there's enough income here for my time. And I want to be here next year for people that need help. And the income helps me to be here. Like, it helps me to keep showing up, right? So with that, I'd like to start out with any questions that you guys might have come to the call with, or things that are on your mind. And definitely take 10 minutes to just go through what's on your mind, what questions you have, and then I have some stuff for us to work through for creation and to have fun in our business.
So I just want to interject here, the combination of that idea of creation and wanting to be in that mode, and then Adrian's point of community. I think that it's interesting because I think it feeds perfectly into where I've been and why I felt that need to create that folder in Contenders, because and the social media side of things, I have been doing, there's other areas where I need to work on creation, but in that side of things, I have been in that creative mode, and felt like, I don't know, that the work I'm doing, other people should benefit from it.
I love that. And you know what? I can tell, like, energetically, I can tell that you're in creation. And creation is catchy. Like if we all show up to a call and we're just like, yeah, yeah, I don't know. I mean, then we're gonna have that. That's gonna be our energy, right? But if we show up with like, I have an idea for creation, or I just made a tool for the team, or I just researched this thing and I'm gonna start doing this, or I was thinking I would do this if anybody wants to join me. Okay, now we're creating the 10-day fat burn blitz. Some beautiful soul created that. We're all winning in it. We're loving it. We're feeling back in our groove, maybe not perfectly, but a heck of a lot better than before we were in it. And that was someone creating. And we get to go and do it now for someone who's waiting for us to create. And then our clients are going to create for their friends that need to create. So it's a beautiful ripple effect. So thank you for that, Monica. Anyone else have any questions or comments? And then Thomas, if you don't mind, and Erica, I'm definitely going to use your question for the bulk of our call to go over, make sure everybody knows what we're doing for November. But Thomas, I'd also love for you to share what we just did and what you're going to be doing, and maybe share that with the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just got off a call with Rachel, and I would say, based on the call today, right now, blaming dying is kind of where my business is. Lack of creativity and things like that. But Rachel and I discussed, for me, how important structure is and how I operate best in structure. And we talked about. Basically came, when is the best time for me personally to post? So I'm an early morning person. So 5 o'clock in the morning is probably the best time for me to, I'm pretty much ready for work, ready to go, but not ready to go drive to work. So I'm up and active at that point. So we came up with a hashtag. It said, "This is your wake up call." And Rachel looked up a couple of things. We found a picture of an alarm clock that's ringing, and then and uh, looking at posting that, this at 5 o'clock in the morning, 3 times a week. For me, would be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then doing a live on Saturday. Focusing on what I posted during the week, and try to do that. Do that for the month of November. But it was fun. I mean, this is the first time in a long time where I've sat down with somebody else and, just discussed some ideas and felt good about it, felt positive about, the direction. Not hard, not complicated, not labor intensive or anything like that. And, discussed, I mean, something as simple as, talking into your phone or whatever for the content instead of typing. I'm a horrible typer, so it would take me longer to type it than it would frustrate me. So, and which would lead to me doing it a couple of times and then just not doing it after that. So I really, those small tips, being around somebody else that that just gives a different perspective and gives a different idea. Really, really helped me out. And so, yeah. The other thing we talked about is having a journal by my bed and when I wake up in the morning or at the end of the night, whichever. And what I'm going to do for the month is write down every day, what did I learn as a health coach? And then one thing that I'm grateful for. So I'm going to track that for the entire month and just kind of go from there and see and not be worried about numbers and things like that. Just to try to create some conversation and get people interested and let them know that I'm a health coach.
Very good. Thank you so much for going over that. I thought I would give you guys a visual. We were just playing. We looked at text art, which text art looks like it's like $3.99 a week. And I was going to ask you guys, do you use Canva or something that's free? I use text art. I don't think I paid $3.99 a week. I think I might be grandfathered in to some introductory rate. I'll have to check my statements, my bank card. But either way, I love it. This is what I use for, let me just show you real quick. Yeah, I'll pull that one up too. But basically he said, I just put him on the spot. I said, Thomas, we're at a party, you're a health coach, what's one thing I should be doing? He's like, track and weigh your food. Like, that's a big one. And I'm like, awesome. So if we dose medicine, why aren't we dosing our food? And it took probably 3 minutes. And we just decided, since it's at 5 a.m., like he said, hey, this is your wake up call with Coach Thomas. And he's going to do it no matter what happens. He's not going to do it for 1 month and go, yeah, I didn't get any clients, you know? He's just going to do it because that's what professionals do. They don't wait. They just brand themselves like, this is what I am. This is what I do. And then we said, well, what if we don't have text art, right? Well, we can get this alarm image off of Pinterest. Okay, cool. And then we were looking at, if he just said hashtag up here, it says hashtag this is your wake up call. Coach Thomas here with my health tip of the day. Question, do you consider food medicine? If so, do you track and measure your food? If that seems daunting, I'd love to help you start tracking your protein, fiber, and water. You'll be amazed at how successful you can be just starting with that. As they say, thou shalt not fool thyself. When we have goals we need to track, this has been an incredible tool for me as a health coach, and I just had to share. Now, as he said, he'll do one every other day with this image and this image in Instagram, and this will be his like branding, right? His hashtag, his thing. Oh, he's at 5 a.m. And then at the end of the week, he'll look at his tips and he'll pick one that he feels needed more words and expression. And he's going to go in more detail, like 3-minute live on one of the 3 that resonates with him. Okay. And he's just going to be consistent in this one area of his business. And we're going to see what happens. And the tips are going to be valuable to people. And I would imagine at some point people are going to say, oh my gosh, Thomas, I love your, wake up call. That comes after you've been ridiculously consistent. People do not compliment that until you are ridiculously consistent in this one little area of your business. So I'd love to challenge you guys. And if you want to book mentor time with me, I have one of my giftings is words and having like, okay, what if we tried that or said that? But Thomas, would you mind sharing with them when you've had the worst day ever and you're sitting with your pen and paper about what did I learn as a health coach and it's time to go to bed and you don't have one thing to write down, you're just mind blocked because you've had a stressful day, what are you going to do?
We talked about the roulette, taking your habits of health or your life book and just kind of flipping through it and pick something and then use that.
Okay. So did you know that snoring is caused by fatty tissue in the neck? Losing weight can help you if you're a snorer. Hashtag saving marriages, right? I mean, it's like, it's right here, guys. We do not need to be creative. If you're like, nope, that's not my gifting. And this team is full of individual gifts. That's what makes us great together. But if you're like, oh no, I want a hashtag, I want an image, I want to structure this in my business, then book some mentor time with me. And we will have fun creating and playing in your business, coming up with your branding that you're going to play with. And I know, Monica, you've got something going on. I see your images, like, and they absolutely feel like you're playing and creating. I loved your one on food noise, like explaining what is food noise, especially with so many people, evaluating like GLP-1s, stuff like that. Real quick, I'll show you mine. Okay. Mine all look like this. This is text art, and my hashtag is gain health with the Richards. I want people gaining health every time they talk to me. I want them to feel like I gained a little insight. I gained a little muscle. I gained a little patience in my journey. I gained a little something, okay? If they lose weight, that's awesome, but I hope they're gaining health with me, okay? And this is just something that I believe. I've been on a spiritual journey coming out of a great season of loss, and what I've discovered is that only love is real. Like, in the end, that's it. That's all you got. So I got a bunch of private messages about this from a girl that just lost her mom, and we're putting ourselves out there for mankind. We're putting ourselves out there. It does not have to be food related, you guys. If you're learning something spiritually or mentally, or you've got a meditation that you like, it doesn't have to be food, exercise, food. It could be literally anything that you're learning about yourself, as you reflect on how to be healthy in your mind, your body, your spirit. Individuality and real sentiments coming out for your followers is what always works, right? Don't ever wear another general's stripes. Just because I said this, if you said it and you're like, your followers, they know what you're feeling. They know what you're up to. They know your losses and your struggles and your caregiving and they want to hear from you. Okay. So I'm not saying you can't rip off someone else's health tip if it's generic, but maybe don't do it on the same exact day that they do it. Like, put it down later in your calendar to do it like that. Okay. Thank you, Thomas. Any questions about tonight? I just wanted to talk about creation and play and how to structure it. So I am here pretty much all day Thursday. I can do some of this. I leave for Florida on Friday for a health conference. And I'm around a little bit Wednesday, and the next week I'm around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just hit me up and say, hey, I'd like to play with my business and I'd like to bounce some ideas off of you. And I would most certainly love to help you guys do that. What do you guys think? You think any questions, comments?
This
Yolanda?
Michelle.
Oh, wait, Michelle.
All right, no, Yolanda had her hand. Oh, no, Yolanda has this. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Okay, real quick. No, I definitely I really want to get started on that. So you saw my text this morning. So there we go. But yeah, I think that's important. And that's kind of where I haven't died, but it was all strumming up in my head today. So, just trying to break through all that and make sure that no, that's not where I want to be. So,
Yes.
but yeah, I'll look at your calendar and then we'll schedule that.
Okay, and just know I don't have Acuity anymore because I canceled it because it was bugging out so bad, and it was frustrating. I had deleted it, reloaded it, and honestly, I'm just not that busy. It's better for you just to put in your business thread times that are good for you guys. Like I know Thomas is available right before the team call on Tuesdays, twice a month or whatever. We can just get a rhythm. There's not enough for me to do. To be too busy to not help each one of you at a time that works for you in your week. So just tell me like, hey, these are my best times where I'm kind of uninterrupted, and then I'll squeeze in there and we'll just have a half an hour of play. Okay. All right. Any other questions about
I know that I am managing right now. I just know it. I could feel it. I'm just like, oh, got to get this done. But so this is where I kind of get stuck in this whole social media thing. Yes, I have Instagram. Yes, I have Facebook. I want to start like post on Instagram and go straight to Facebook. I always forget. It's the stories that I sometimes think, should I put it in a story or should I post it? And that's where it gets a little mushy for me.
Okay.
And then I think, oh, that should have been, I love what you just Thomas, what you just talked about. That kind of like solidifies like, okay, if I could put 3 posts a day, then maybe I could do some stories that follow along with that maybe, but aren't the same thing. But
yeah, so I'm gonna pull up what I did in my story, and this is just what I put. My next opportunity to help you hit some goals is 11-4. Maybe you just want to drop a few pounds or a bit of body fat, or you feel sluggish and you need energy. Sleep is just not restorative. Join my next 10-day challenge and we can regroup and take it from there. But first we detox, right? So this is me just playing in my story, like using, and I don't know if you guys know this in Instagram where you've got like post a picture and then it says, I always forget what it says, but basically, let me just go like I'm going to make one. Basically, if you hit your story and you hit create at the top, it's create and it has like letters. When you click that, you get the background and you can just talk. Okay, like, hey, Coach Michelle, what's your number one weight loss secret? Answer. Track your protein, whatever. And it's like you can have these fun little conversations and people will stop and read these. Especially if your other stories are interesting. Don't be afraid to put like a cute baby, grandbaby picture and something like this because they're like, oh my God, the baby. And then wait, what's this? So it doesn't have to be all health, 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 health. You can mix it in with your life, like a beautiful cup of coffee. And then the next one is something like this. So I have found these to be really helpful when I just want to say something to my followers. And then I might also put this in a post. And then I might also do a go live to, hey, I don't know if you saw my 11/4/2024 challenge. This is a time to see what it's like to work with me for 10 days. Many of you have been following me for years. I'm not sure if you have any health goals around what I mentioned. And this is how we message like we've got upcoming challenges. And I hope, Erica Goldson, I know that this was one of your questions was like, how do we use the fat burn challenge? And this is the type of stuff you want to do. Remember, we learned from Bob to talk about how people feel. Do you feel sluggish? Are you snoozing through your alarm clock? Does it take 3 cups of coffee to get going? And then you still can't get going. Do you think it could be your need to detox? When was the last time you detoxed your body? These are ways that Bob taught us how to talk, not just like, hey, you want to lose weight, right? Like, that's great. And some people absolutely are like, yeah, I have a Christmas party coming up. I had a girl text me, I have a cruise coming up and I need to drop 10 pounds because I already bought clothes and they don't fit me. The average person also on the fat loss challenge, this is the average over the 10 days, people are losing 4 to 5 pounds. So you may, if those of you that want to invest in something that's like $30 for these challenges, guys, they're going to be twice a month. You're going to be like, oh, you missed the 11/4 one. That's okay. Why don't you get your steps and your water and your protein in and join me on some mindset calls? We'll place your order and we'll hit the next one. Like, don't worry, because there's always going to be another one for them to jump into. On Amazon, they have a picture of body fat, or actually not a picture, it's like the gelatinous thing, right? I'm going to order one because I'm going to let people know that after our 10-day challenges, people are letting go of this much fat on average. Some less, some more. But I think it's a great visual for our creation to be able to say, this is what can happen in just 10 days. So I'm going to invest in that in the month of November, just drop a little bit of money back into my business, like $30, and just have a prop for these challenges that I share, right? As well as my own journey of showing my own fat reduction, my own screenshots of my scale, my own body scans. There's no substitution for us doing it with our clients. So I'm glad that most of you are jumping back in and leading with your health, because that's going to be they like this thing, but they like your thing better. So does that help, Michelle, on stories too?
Yes, it does. I think I just needed to hear it again. And I'm gonna play around with that create. I was just looking at my stuff right now, but I need to just do it on when I have a quiet time, just to kind of play around with it. Oh, sorry. I made this, I have to tell you guys, I made the turkey chili, came home from visiting my friend in the hospital. I just rubbed my eye and now I have jalapeno sauce in it. So
Oh,
you
no.
see me going like this, it's because I have jalapenos on my hands still.
Oh my
But it
God.
sure smells good in here.
The turkey
Thank you.
chili. So good. Yeah. And that's the other thing is, you just sparked a thought, Michelle. Like, let's be honest, some of our best conversations are around recipes. So like, why wouldn't we post one a week that we're eating on our fat burn challenge so that people understand that these are not like, we're not just eating shakes and bars, like we're having a bowl of turkey chili, and what you can do, guys, is you can put it like whatever time you eat your lean and green, So if we're eating 2 ways, 3 fuelings on the fat burn challenge, right? 3 fuelings, 2 ways, and that's 6 meals, right? Who's echoing? Okay. So 6 meals, and you can say whenever you take a picture of your lean and green, just once a week. You don't have to do it every day, but once a week you could put, this is meal number 4 out of 6. So, and just feature your lean and green, like something, you know, some of them are not photogenic, so you're like, you're not going in there. But other ones look really good, like a big old bowl of chili. I would also put some food in there too, and just make sure that you are posting food because you are a health coach. And I would say one of the most requested things I get in my inbox is, what do you eat in a day? People will ask me that all the time. What do you eat? What's a typical day of eating for you? And so you guys can throw that into your creation and just say, once a week, I'm going to show you everything I eat for a day. Just once a week. I'm just going to let you see that I'm not starving, that I'm making a protein shake with coffee in it, and then I'm making a chobani, or I'm making a lean and green, and I'm making a beautiful, delicious brownie, or a little cereal with a splash of almond milk. Like, I am eating all day long. I am fueling my body. And people need to see that. And you can let them know that I have this program. This program I have on sale, not on sale. This program I have a 2-week sampler of, and I would love you to join me on the next Fat Burn Challenge and sample this program. You guys have been seeing what I eat. I'm not starving. I eat very well, and I drink a lot of water. And this is what we'll be doing together more or less on that 10-day challenge. So I think for the month of November, we have to just like play and create around what we're eating, what we're drinking, what we're thinking, what we're learning, and make it a point to find out, like I asked Thomas, what is the best time of day for you to post something? And he was like, it's this time. But it's not every day, because sometimes I have to drive. So anyway, we came up with his cadence. I would ask all of you that too. What is that best time of day? And then if you're willing to keep a journal and just write one thing I learned as a health coach today and one thing I'm grateful for, you're gonna have your content. And you might even just say, I learned how to make the turkey chili, and I'm grateful that I do not have to eat diet food. That's a post. That's a post. Show your turkey chili. I didn't know how to cook before Optavia. How many of your clients are like, I did not know how to cook until this program. I thought vegetables were a can of green beans or a can of corn. You can make that a post and say, I would love to talk to those of you that desire to be healthy but don't know how to cook, because I would challenge you to learn how to make one healthy meal a day, and I can help you with that. And I have a app that is full of simplistic recipes that will heal your body. If you're not getting healthy because you don't know how to cook, we should talk, because that's something I can help you overcome very simply, you know? So we're just gonna go back to basics, and we're just gonna learn how to be consistent with our living out loud. The invite, really, the best one that we have is to invite them into a 10-day challenge that's coming up. And then that's very simple. Like at that point, when you, let me just share my screen just to make sure we're all on the same page. With those best practices for that is just to make sure that they, this is good. This is something that we'll revisit over the month of November, but the one that I hit, this is daunting, and we're not going to go over all this on one call. That's too much. But tonight, this is the one we worked on, okay? And then transformations. Don't believe the lie that no one likes those before and afters. They just don't like them every single day, like multiple times a day. That's spammy. They like them, but they like them in conjunction with health tips, macro tips, recipes, humility posts, what things you're struggling with, an upcoming challenge, free value on win calls. They just don't want to just see a bazillion before and afters. And so tonight we're working on this one, and these posts should not take longer than 10 minutes. So if you have Canva, if you have text art, that's what I use. It's very simple because you just pick a format that you like and a hashtag that you like, and you're off and running. But let's just take a look at, and then if you guys are struggling with self-sabotage, this is a very powerful podcast, and it explains why we keep repeating things that we do not want to be repeating. And it's very powerful. It is a little geeky, and the first 15 minutes are pretty powerful. Listen to it in chunks, but if you have a brain that is something Thomas and I talked about, we all have a Labrador brain, okay? And do you guys know in our health habits book, it shows, Dr. A says we have a lizard brain, we have a Labrador brain. Your Labrador brain, you have to tell it to sit like a dog. That's part of training your brain, is when it goes, ooh, type that thing back to her and tell her, and you're like, oh, no. I don't think I should do that, but I want to do that, but I don't want to do that. That's going to foster disconnection. Anytime, or, ooh, I wonder if I should just nibble on that new ice cream, my husband, I just want to taste. Tell your brain, sit, because it needs to be trained like a dog, because that's your Labrador brain that's panting for the thing that you don't want. And it's okay to say, get on your bed. Just like you would, that interrupts it. It will break the chain of you saying, stop, sit. We're not doing that. That fosters disconnection. That's sarcasm. That's not what we do. Like, hold that thought. That's your old way of talking. You're not that person anymore. Sit, right? So these are the ways that we do that together. And a lot of us right now have things that we're trying to work on. I highly suggest this, as well as telling your brain to sit when it wants to do the very thing that you don't want to do. But with regards to the Fat Burn Blitz, your friend comments on your story, Erica, and guys, this is a post. This is definitely a post. This whole image, you can just screenshot it, hold down the button, screenshot it, crop it. This is a post, and you could be putting these in with dates over them in your story. Okay, so you can, in your Instagram story, you can put that, but also it's when they register, look at, if you get someone tomorrow and they're like, oh, Michelle, I want to start with you on 11/4. I got you. We're going to prep, and I'm going to get you off sugar and all your whites and drinking water and getting your steps, and I'm going to prep you, and we're going to order your 2-week kit, and then you're going to start your actual Fat Burn Blitz on the 18th. Okay, so these are going to be ongoing, and you're not going to miss out. This is good for all your coaches that have lost their way. This is good for your neighbors, for your friends, for your gym. Just be a boss at inviting people to take this journey with you on 11/4 or 11/18 of this month. Okay, all your posts, you can have it at the bottom. Not too late to jump into my Fat Burn Blitz. I've got 2 coming up in the month of November. Like, this is how you're going to attract new clients and new coaches. They have to put your name if they know it. And if they ask you, hey, Michelle, what about your Fat Burn Blitz? Do not forget to give them your email. Make sure they click this button. If they don't click this button, they're not getting daily text messages. And if they don't put this, you don't know who registered. You're going to get an email that says, Erica, your friend Kelly just joined your next Fat Burn Blitz on 11/18. And you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. She doesn't have an order. And now we can go get them started on the 2-week kit. You know what I mean? So that's pretty straightforward. This is really straightforward. They have 2 shots for the month of November. If they want to do one, do not make them wait and do nothing before this date. Get them on win calls, get their mind going, fill out a structured tension chart. Why do you want to do this challenge? What are you trying to create? Let's step away from white sugars, white flours, starches. Let's track your water this week. Next week, we'll track your protein And after that, we're going to be ready to burn. If they want to use all their own food, you can explore that, and place an order. And as soon as it comes, they can start putting food in there. I get it. Like, they can do their own food while they're waiting for their kit. You guys are great health coaches. You know how to help people do it with their own food, stay in their TEE, hit their protein, and many of you have had to do that. So that's what I would do, but the actual program is right here. So they're going to need to order their GLP-1 kit, because that's going to give them their fuelings and their protein. And I have my clients order a bag of EAAs if they can afford it. If they can't, we just leave it out and order the other things that they're going to need. And maybe when they order their next one, we'll add the EAAs. Okay. So that's what I would love to continue to work on. Individual mentor time, so that you guys feel very secure in terms of what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it in the month of November. And that's it, really. Like, Erica, did that answer your questions for like the registration of the fat burn, how to message it, and how to reach out to your clients that maybe have fallen off or whatever? Do you feel like I answered it, or is there anything else that you were wondering?
I'm just trying to figure out how to use the fat burn blitz versus the 14-day detox, and if there's a difference or how that works. And I'm sorry about going off and on this thing. My every 2 minutes the sound kept cutting out, and it was driving me crazy because I was missing so much. So I restarted my computer, jumped on my phone, and then switched back again. It was driving me crazy.
No, you're fine. And this is recorded too. If you're like, dang it, I got to go back and listen to certain parts, I did hit the record button. The 14-day detox, love that. But this is way easier for clients. This is so much easier. And that is more Trisha Goyer focused. Like, it's branded for her, really. And a lot of people are getting confused, or I'm getting devotions, or I'm getting this, or I'm getting that, which I'm actually getting ready to go live in that challenge on November the 8th, because I still have people in there that did it, that are happy with it and have really resonated with what she's doing. But going forward, I'm doing this one. Like, this is so much easier, so much simpler. I love the kickoff call on Sunday nights that they do for these guys, especially if they opt into the text messages. They'll get like a prep call, and it's super organized, telling them exactly what they need. And they also get a 1-week celebration in a group setting, which that takes so much work off of all of us, to where all we have to work on is the connection and the, how are you doing? And I love that for you. And like, just be their friend on journey. So if you're interested in doing it yourself, I would say that's when all of us really understood what it was, is we did it. Where whether you do the one on the 4th of November, or if you're like, no, that's not a good time for me, the 18th, and doing that like 100% as if you were a client, that's where I would put my focus, because this one is more like Optavia led by the field. And Trisha is a beautiful soul. I love her. I thank her for putting that together. It's amazing. But people were confused on that one. And this one, I haven't had a single person say they were confused once we got them going. Like,
I wish I'd realized that sooner, because now I'm kind of in the middle of both, so I don't really know how to fix that.
most of us have just left it, where I, like, as a coach, I'm supporting her because I love her and I want to help other people that have helped us. So I'm going to do a go live in there on a topic and still do that. But like, most people are using this one, and we just kind of fade it out. So don't feel guilty about like, hey, I'm going to switch gears and do this one that my team is doing. And this seems to be 10 days, not 14, which, believe it or not, is magical for people, where they're like, I could do 10 days, you know? So cutting 4 days off, and then of course they all want to like stay and keep going and build. And some people will take a moderation break or something, or they have life, but most people are like, I'm going to need to do this a few times. And that's where we want to introduce like, um, having them do like a 5-in-1 or a 5-in-1 active after their 10 days of seeing what's really possible. There's no real concern if they stay on it. It's just making sure they're getting enough protein. And I had a guy do a 10-day, and he's a mountain biker, and he was doing great. And then his mountain bike rides started getting longer. And so all I did was add another leaning green. And because his rides are really long. So, and he's doing great. He has 2 whey's, 3 fuelings, 2 leaning greens. He's feeling amazing. He's not losing too fast. We're hitting his protein target. So if you guys have questions on any of that, you can always drop it in your business thread and I'll get it. But I would say switch to this one and don't feel bad about doing that at all. Okay.
Okay.
And do one yourself just so you get to opt in.
I did the past one and I'm in this current one. I did way better last time. I ended up losing 7 pounds last time,
That's amazing.
which was crazy. I just knew a lot of it was inflammation.
Mhm.
So it made a huge difference. And I know this time I was like, oof, back to back, it was a lot harder. So now I'm realizing the struggle. So that's just going to help me help other people in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I did the last one, squeaky clean. And then I took a break, did not go off the rails, just wasn't in that structure of eating, ate differently, but still very, very healthy. And had a little treat on my daughter's birthday with her. And then I'm kicking back into the one on the 4th, like squeaky clean, So do what works for you and aligns with your goals, and don't should or shame yourself. If you're like, man, I think mentally I would be more ready on the 18th, then do that. Like, just do what you can do with your whole heart, and invite people to come with you. Now that you've done one, you can invite them to anyone, because I feel like we can speak to it because we did it. So that's it. Any other questions, concerns?
I do have one more concern about the Fat Burn Blitz. It doesn't seem like there's an option for them to do it with their own food. And that's just a concern. Like when I'm trying to help a potential new client, that's the only thing that I'm concerned of. Like, I like them to have that option to use their own food, so that they can try it out and then they can start learning of the value of our fuelings through that. But I don't see that is shown like in the 14-day detox.
Yeah, no, this really, what I'm telling people is we can prep you with your own food, but when you go in this challenge, you need an order. Absolutely. Like, you need fuelings, you need EAAs. I can't imagine doing this without my EAAs. I ran out one day and it was night and day. And I was like, I am hungry. And I had my EAA bag show up the next day and I was fine. So it has to do with more the value of, they're not going to get the precision that they need without our fuelings and the EAAs and the whey. And so don't be shy about that. The prep is fine. You could consider having them do, if you like the whole foods options. I personally do not have the time to coach people without income coming in. I just don't. I don't want to either, because it's a drain and it takes away from my family. And I feel like, if anything, it devalues me as a coach, where they don't even think I'm worth anything pay-wise. And I don't want to set that. So for me, I'm like, look, I'll help you get started and do a pre-cleanse. We need to place your order, because you're going to want precise results. And the only way to do that, to where I'm not stressed out laying in bed at night thinking about you losing muscle, is that you are on the proper macros. And there's no way they can get these macros with their own food and be in the fat burn range that we need them to be in. They would eat too many calories and it wouldn't work the same. So just be strong about that part.
That's where my struggle is. I can't bridge that gap. I have so many people that are ready to go, but I can't get them there. And I don't
Well, let's book some mentor time about that, because just for everyone's sake, do you think, like, if I was working with you, I just went through this with a gal earlier, where I said, I just need to know what you're already spending on food every day. And we're just gonna take that and use that same or less amount on what we're gonna do for the 10 days. So tell me what you're spending right now on food so that I know how much we can redirect. And start with what they are spending on food and then help them to purchase that amount with their, with their program. Because I think I calculated the 2-week kit, you guys. I know I did it on last week's call. I want to say, Erica, that the 2 ways, the 3 fuelings and the 1 lean and green, as far as what we're asking them to spend with us, don't quote me, but I want to say we were saying $2.65 a meal. So $2.65 a meal. So what I do is I say, this fat burn challenge, we have to eat very precise, because I myself, if I were you, I lost 7 pounds in 10 days. I did that because I did it perfectly. Do you want to do it perfectly? Okay, great. First question I have, what do you spend per meal right now? And don't say a word. Just let them answer. Just, oh, I don't know. I mean, I eat a sandwich, I eat a this, I go to Chick-fil-A, and then sometimes I DoorDash, and then we go out like once or twice a week, but I pretty much cook. And okay, just ballpark me. Like, you eat 3 times a day? Yep, 3 times a day. What do you think you're spending to eat 3 times a day? I don't know, $25 a day. Okay, well, good news for you, my friend. I just cut that in half, okay? And you're gonna have portability and convenience. You're gonna rip open a bag. And right now, sounds like you're doing a lot of cooking. So this 10-day challenge is gonna be a lot of grab and go, so that you can see that the precision is there. And then we're gonna add back more foods when you're done with your 10-day. But never talk about placing an order without asking them what they're spending right now on food. Just curious, what do you spend per meal on food? Michelle, did you have a question, Offerman, or a
No,
comment?
what did you say? I went back on my notes. I had 228, but you may be right. I'm not reading my, it was with the
Let's look at it. Let's look at it together.
it was the
before we-
GLP. I think I had it under the GLP kit.
Yep,
I got
because
it for 228 a meal, but I may not be reading my writing. And that may not be with the EAAs.
so, and you know what? I'm gonna not put the EAAs in right now, but I would say consider it as an add-on. So this is the active bundle. We're not looking at that. We're looking at the GLP-1. So take 217, 25 off monthly with your Premier Auto Ship order. Okay, 217.15 this is how we did this. Just so you have confidence, Erica, in saying, do you think you can afford a meal that's under $3? I know they can, because inflation alone would tell me they can.
Can't even get a Happy Meal for under $3.
I mean, right? I mean, unless you're going the dollar menu and getting 2 things. But here we go with the amount of fueling. So what did we say? It was, we're giving them 3 fuelings and 2 ways. So 5, okay, so we have to take 5 times, I think that's a 30-day kit, is 150 meals that they're gonna eat, right? They're gonna eat 150 times because of the 2 ways, the 3 fuelings. So then it would be divided by 217.15 divided by 150 meals. It's like $1.44 a meal or something. As far as like how much that is. But if you were to just take, because it says 95 servings, so my bad. It says right here, the kit has 95 servings. So then you would take 95 divided by 217.15. Yep. I did it backwards, of course. No, okay. And you would divide that into 95. So yeah, I mean, you're talking like $2.30 a meal or less. And I would let them know if you can spare uh, another 75 cents, then we could get you an EAA every day, or like, you know what I mean? Or every other day to help them with their walking and their muscle protein synthesis. But this is almost ridiculous. And then just to put it in perspective, 217 times at my commission, right? I make $65 to coach them for 10 days. I don't know any health coaches that are $65 for 10 days of coaching. So then, like I said, if you go any lower, they just don't value you as a health coach because they're like, that it's just this program and it's not really, we have to help them understand that these things are valuable, that we're going to give them one-on-one coaching, group coaching, a perfect nutrition plan, an app for their phone, all the recipes at their fingertips, a Monday night call with the creator and founder of the program, and all of this, and a kickoff call, a prep call, a 1 week call. I mean, blow their mind with the value and say, I know it's ridiculous, right? We're going to do all this for like $2.28 a meal. And right now, my friend, you said your meals are 10. So why the heck would we keep doing that? Let's save some money on this 10-day journey too. Because you're actually, by having them do their own food, you're helping your clients spend more money, not less. In light of inflation, like if you were to say how much is all that costing you, I guarantee you it's costing them more than $2.28 a meal. Okay, so if you really want to help them, have them place an order. Otherwise, they're going to the grocery store and they're getting caught up with the cost of food and the prep, and they're going to have points of failure. I couldn't make it home. I didn't have anything to eat, so I did. You know, we're taking that out. We're taking all of that out. So I hope that helps you have more confidence around not giving your services away. But definitely if you're like, nope, this girl is really financially strapped, go ahead and put her in the 14-day challenge. Like, you, at least you have that option still, right? To meet people where they are. Like if you go through it and she goes, I know it's only $2.28, I can't even do that, you can do the Trisha one and still feel like you're helping someone. But most people are going to grab this all day because it's cheaper. Okay. Does that help everybody? Like, you guys feel pretty good about grabbing some people for this November 4th challenge and continuing to have fun in your business? We'll do more of this next week. Come with your questions, book some mentor time. Thursday of this week, I'm available. Wednesday of this week, I'm available. Just throw it in your business thread and we'll grab a half an hour together and we'll just see what we can do. All right. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon. Thank you for all your great questions. Bye.